Today is Wednesday, January 3rd. I'm Tiffany Lee with a look at what's happening in the news. Donald Trump's campaign is appealing the Maine ruling, barring him from the state's primary ballot. In it, the campaign lists reasons why Trump should not be on the ballot for Maine's Republican primary in March. Alex Haskell breaks it all down.
Former President Donald Trump challenging Maine Secretary of State Ballot's ruling that deems him ineligible from appearing on the GOP primary ballot in Maine's Superior Court. In their filing, Trump's legal team argues the secretary was a biased decision maker who made multiple errors of law and acted in an arbitrary and capricious manner. They also say Ballot had no legal authority to make a decision on federal constitutional issues.
Under Maine law, I was required to make the decision as quickly as I did.
Ballot says the appeal was expected, making this statement, writing in part, "I have confidence in my decision and in the rule of law. Everyone who serves in government has a duty and obligation to uphold the Constitution first above all."
This will be fought to the full extent of the law. If this was allowed to stand, it'd be a scary time.
Ballot's decision has received intense pushback, especially from Republican lawmakers, some calling for her to be impeached. The Maine GOP saying, "The voice of Mainers will be heard despite the dirty partisan tricks being played. Ballot needs to go, and Donald Trump needs to be restored to the Maine ballot."
My decision was based exclusively on the facts and the evidence.
Democratic Senator Bob Menendez has been hit with a new indictment, the second one for the New Jersey senator. A federal grand jury alleges that he helped a real estate developer to get a multi-million-dollar investment from a company tied to the Qatar government. Prosecutors also accuse Menendez of introducing the developer to a member of the Qatar royal family, who was also a principal of the investment company. Menendez allegedly received cash and gold bars as a reward for helping the New Jersey developer secure the investment. Harvard University President Claudine Gay resigned on Tuesday. This is in the middle of plagiarism accusations and criticism over her congressional testimony on anti-Semitism on college campuses. Gay, Harvard's first black president, announced her departure just a few months into her tenure. She did this in a letter to the Harvard community where she states, quote, "It has become clear that it is in the best interest of Harvard for me to resign so that our community can navigate this moment of extraordinary challenge." Gay faced backlash following her testimony to Congress, as many criticized her responses on the rise of anti-Semitism on college campuses. Soon after her hearing, her academic career came under intense scrutiny, with critics finding several instances of alleged plagiarism in her 1997 doctoral dissertation. Gay is the second Ivy League president to resign in the past month following the congressional hearing. Liz McGill, president of the University of Pennsylvania, resigned in December. Kimberly Singler, a Colorado woman accused of killing two of her kids, made her first court appearance on Monday after her arrest in London over the weekend. Singler was cooperating with police in connection with the deaths of her 9-year-old daughter and 7-year-old son, as well as the attempted murder of her 11-year-old daughter. This until she allegedly fled to the UK. Here's KUSA's Mark Salinger with more details on the case.
For years, Kimberly Singler fought in court to get full custody of her children from her ex-husband. Now she's charged with killing 2 of the kids and seriously injuring a third. Singler made her first court appearance Monday in London after she fled the country last week. A 9-year-old girl and 7-year-old boy were found dead in their Colorado Springs home on December 19th. While Singler told police there was a burglary, investigators now believe it was a made-up alibi. New court documents obtained by 9 News show a contentious legal battle between Singler and her ex-husband, Kevin Wentz, that had raged on since 2018. The two divorced, and Singler tried to keep Wentz from being allowed to visit the children. A temporary protection order was granted in November after Singler says her ex-husband pulled a knife and threatened her during a visitation exchange. Singler wrote in the document she was a victim of domestic violence and physical assault. An attorney for Wentz says that never happened, and Singler made everything up. Wentz maintains there was no physical violence or domestic abuse between them. Just days before the 2 kids were killed, Wentz filed a motion in court to have the civil protection order dismissed. Now a mother who fought to get a protection order for her kids is accused of killing them herself.
A South Korean opposition leader was stabbed in the neck on Tuesday by a knife-wielding man during a visit to Busan. Lee Jae-woong was airlifted to a hospital in Seoul after receiving emergency treatment. He is now recovering at an intensive care unit, according to his Democratic Party. The attack happened as Lee walked through a crowd of journalists and others after touring a new airport in Busan. According to police, the attacker approached Lee, saying that he wanted a photograph, then stabbed him in the left side of his neck. Party officials quickly subdued the attacker before police detained him. Police are investigating the motive for this attack. January is Cervical Cancer Awareness Month, and according to the CDC, about 4,000 women die from cervical cancer each year. But when the disease is found early, it is very treatable and survivable. WNEP's Emily Kress spoke to a doctor about just how important it is to go and get tested.
Dr. Megan Haggerty's days at the Northeast Radiation Oncology Center in Dunmore are spent treating patients who have been diagnosed with cancer. Recently, she's seeing many patients diagnosed with late-stage cervical cancer.
Cervical cancer is for the most part a preventable disease, and we're all busy. I think COVID has, allowed a lot of women to, get a little bit lax on screening.
And just taking care of everyone else, that I think somehow I stopped taking care of myself. And really, it's a pap smear, and it could have prevented the fight for my life.
Anne Marie Evans of Archbald is a mom of 4. She was diagnosed in May of last year at the age of 58 after some faint postmenopausal spotting caught her attention.
That was, to me, something very unusual. So I talked to some friends because I still wasn't so sure that that meant anything. And one of my friends was a nurse, and she's like, call, make an appointment. Let's just be sure. Get a pap. When did you have your last pap? And I wasn't even going to answer that one.
Since cervical cancer is highly treatable when caught early, screening is the key to saving lives.
And what the pap smear allows us to detect are very, very early stage changes in the cervix. And at that point, a woman usually has many, many options. There can be very minimally invasive options where they can have in-office procedures.
The patients Dr. Haggerty sees in her office need aggressive treatment. She stresses the importance of yearly visits to the gynecologist with routine testing starting at age 21. For more resources provided by the Northeast Cancer Institute, visit our website, WNEP.com. Emily Kress, Newswatch 16, Lackawanna County.
New research says more non-pregnant women in the U.S. are requesting abortion pills to have on hand. According to a study published in the JAMA Internal Medicine Journal, requests for mifepristone spiked after news leaked that the Supreme Court was overturning Roe v. Wade back in 2022. Researchers found requests went from 25 a day to 250 a day, then down to 90 following the Supreme Court's official decision. And in states where an abortion ban seemed likely, requests for the medication also rose. Snoop Dogg is heading to Paris this summer because he's joining NBC's coverage of the 2024 Olympic Games. The network announced that the rapper will, quote, explore the city's iconic landmarks, attend Olympic competitions and events, and visit with athletes, their friends, and families. Snoop says that he grew up watching the Olympics and is excited to see the athletes bring their A game. In an NBC press release, he says, quote, let's elevate, celebrate, and make these games unforgettable, smoke the competition, and may the best shine like gold. Snoop Dogg will be taking up his role as special correspondent alongside Olympics host Mike Tirico when the games begin on July 26th. And before we go, check this out. A set of twins born overnight on New Year's Eve in South Jersey, but they don't share the same birthday or even the same birth year. Older brother Ezra was born at 11:48 p.m. on New Year's Eve, and younger brother Ezekiel was born at 12:28 a.m. on New Year's Day. That means that one was born in 2023 and the other in 2024. And to make things even better, Dad's birthday is on New Year's Eve, so he now shares a birthday with one of the twins. You're all caught up. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Tiffany Lee. Have a great Wednesday.